Knobloch might be the most explosive and electric midfielder I have ever watched. The midfielder of the year has a roll dodge that's nearly impossible to guard. Any defender against this guy on the island is going to get smoked. He can release the ball from any angle in Tom Schrieber fashion, and he couples it with that deadly speed. In 2024, he racked up 40 points with the Scarlet Knights, taking on Midfielder of the Year. Defenses around the country couldn't find an answer to his ridiculous speed. I knew Knobloch was good, but analyzing his tape while making this video made me realize how great he really is. In 2024, he got drafted to the Chaos, and in his rookie season, he put up 15 points. He has an extremely bright future ahead of himself, and today, I'll show you what makes him so good. The truth is, if you can't make it through an 8-minute video, you probably won't make it as a top player. To become a top player like Knobloch, check out this clip. Knobloch attacks downfield at his defender. First, I want you to notice the situation. Knobloch has a huge gap between himself and his defender. This means he can get a lot of speed, making him extremely hard to guard. Second, he has a downfield pick to his left. With his initial speed and the pick, he knows he'll at least get the D-mid to switch onto him. This means his main focus is deceiving the slide. Knobloch initiates and waits to dodge until the defender is level with the pick. This ensures he can't get over it. After the defender gets hit by the pick, the D-mid starts to hedge. In this position, Knobloch could attack straight at the cage, but instead, he keeps dodging downhill. Why? When he dodges downhill, it discourages the D-mid from fully committing to the switch. This gives Knobloch the room to re-attack close to goal line extended and get the goal. Take a look at this example. Knobloch is on an island up top in this matchup against Michigan. I want you to notice these subtle hesitation moves and how they end up getting him the goal. These subtle hesitations do two things. First, it gets the D-mid to change the cadence of his steps. The D-mid is expecting a rollback, so he's slowing down and speeding up. The second thing is after seeing the initial hesitation, the D-mid thinks Knobloch won't roll back anymore. This is when he opens his hips into a run. As soon as Knobloch notices this, he rolls back. When a D-mid goes from a shuffle into a run, it becomes harder for them to change direction. Knowing this, Knobloch rolls away from pressure and shoots on the run. Knobloch can get free goals by doing this. Knobloch attacks the pole in a shooting position. This immediately gets the pole to flinch up. He then face dodges down the alley. This is so effective because again, it opens the defender's hips. By heavily baiting down the alley, the defender fully commits his hips in that direction. Knobloch then has this ridiculous rollback into a shot. While most of us can't execute a dodge combination like this, we can still use its principles. Try changing directions when you notice your defender opens his hips. Take this example of Knobloch baiting a slide for another ridiculous goal. First, Knobloch attacks the top side. The defender desperately wants to deny this, so he opens his hips trying to stay with Knobloch. Again, as soon as Knobloch sees the defender opens his hips, he rolls away. This gives him a bunch of free space down the alley. But Penn State knows how deadly he is, so his slide comes firing out immediately. The key lesson here is that the slide nearly always comes in out of control. They're desperately trying to make a play and aren't thinking about breaking down. Knobloch uses this to his advantage by throwing this hitch, freezing the slide. Knobloch then attacks downfield away from the defender where he has no leverage, putting him in a trail position. At the last second, he knifes in and scores in front of the cage. Knobloch became Midfielder of the Year because of the work that no one else saw. He most likely has a detailed training plan of what he has to do each day and follows it exactly. If you want to play like Knobloch, my advice is to get a training plan to follow like the G League blueprint. It eliminates the guesswork, so all you have to do is follow it and watch as you dominate on the field. The link for it will be in the description. Let's get back to the video. Let's look at another example of Knobloch using a hitch to deceive a slide. Knobloch initiates in this high alley against this Army defender. Instead of throwing a split, Knobloch throws this slight rocker which completely smokes the defender. This works so well because of how deadly Knobloch's roll dodge is. Any sort of move that resembles a roll is going to have defenders immediately biting. Knobloch is now sweeping across the top with an insane amount of open space. He's still 15 yards out though on the run, so he wants to get closer to the cage. Again, he takes advantage of the slide coming in out of control. All Knobloch has to do is throw this subtle hitch to freeze him. He then comes down the alley and rips this shot. Take this clip for example. You don't need any fancy dodges to beat defenders. Knobloch attacks the top side and again gets the defender's hips to open up. When a defender has their body completely open like this, it's hard to cut back. Knobloch creates separation with his roll, not because of how fancy it was, but because of how efficient it was. Efficiency is king when dodging. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel, dial in your fundamentals, and dodge like this. Knobloch then comes down the alley and rips this shot. Knobloch is a machine at shooting, but also has great vision. Take a look at this clip. As he approaches the D-mid, the entire field is thinking about sliding. They all know that Knobloch is going to get by the D-mid easily. Right after his initial split, Knobloch's head and body are up looking for someone to feed to. Knobloch then finds his teammate on the backside for the step down. Once you become a dominant dodger, you can become a dominant feeder. Slides will come faster, leaving your teammates wide open. Take a look at this clip. Knobloch is isolated up top against this pole. He splits and again he rolls back when he sees the pole open his hips to one direction. It is hard for a pole to change direction here. In this clip, the pole has to completely rotate his body to even stay close to Knobloch. If you beat a defender this badly, almost always expect a slide to come. Knobloch knows it's coming and looks to the crease to feed and score. Still, Knobloch's strong suit will always be his dodging. He can combine body language with his insane speed to smoke defenders. Take a look at this clip. Knobloch is approaching his defender on the high alley. Notice how much his body is pointing towards the top side of the field. This is baiting the defender to overcompensating on the top side. Look at the defender's hips. He is completely stealing the top side, but giving a wide open lane to the alley. Just the act of Knobloch facing his body upfield gets him this goal. All he has to do is sprint down the alley for the shot. We can learn a lot from Shane Knobloch, but the main thing I want you to take away from this video is that simplicity and athleticism will always trump being fancy on the field. There is a time for creative shots, but first you have to master the basic principles. Knobloch can beat practically every defender in the country with his simple roll dodge. If you want to work on your dodges and skills, check out the Daily Blueprint. Every drill is given to you for each day of the week, so all you have to do is follow it. The link for it will be in the description and on screen. Thank you so much for watching.